Welcome. It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. In this video, I am going to show you a little bit about how we set up our ops for last weekend's Saturday night org ops. So while the video plays, we're going to talk about the news of the week, or at least of the last couple of days. So we had a Star Citizen Live with the PU team, and then we also from the US. Then we also had the Roundmap Roundup, which we'll start off with. And some of you guys are definitely going to be upset with the new roadmap. I don't blame you. I'm a little upset with it too, but I do understand why things have been delayed. As a lot of you know, a lot of the stuff in the roadmap has been delayed, and it's mostly due to this work at home stuff with the COVID-19 scare. I think I think this pandemic is about to start miraculously disappearing over the next month or so, but that's neither here or there. You didn't come here to listen to conspiracy theories and other things. So let's talk about the roadmap. So 3.9, if you go down the 3.9 list on the roadmap, everything is in polishing state. So this thing is about ready for release. I know that they've been struggling with the desync, but on the Star Citizen Live, they did mention that this thing could go out to Wave 1 PTU by this weekend. So it's the weekend. We'll see if we get the PTU today or tomorrow and kind of go from there. If we do, I will be in it, and I will be testing things out and getting footage for you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with some new content for you guys to see before it goes to live. So yeah, 3.9, it's in a polished state, or at least that's what they're showing on the roadmap. Now we go into 4.0. They had to move some stuff back this week. It's very disappointing, and I guess the best way to put it is just freaking disappointing. They made some changes. The server to client actor network rework, it has been pushed back to 4.1. So in other words, what that is that's more like the server-side object container streaming. Some of that they had to do to finish it has been shifted back to 4.1 so that they could work on server meshing. So you noticed a couple weeks ago or a week ago, I mentioned that they have been working on server meshing. They have now prioritized it and scheduled it for Q2. That means 4.0. So we should be able to see some major work done on server meshing by then. Why did they make it a priority? Well, the biggest reason why it's a priority right now is because the amount of stuff they have in the Stanton system, they can't support on the current servers. And we've talked about this in a previous video before, where every patch you see stuff disappear, or things that used to work really well don't work at all anymore. And a lot of it is because they simply had to deactivate certain bits and pieces so that they could cram in the new stuff. Like when Microtech came in, they had to make sure that some other stuff wasn't working properly. In other words, they had to kind of take it out of the game so that the servers could handle it. With server meshing, a lot of that problem goes away. If you don't know what server meshing is saying, okay, well, we want to make Microtech its own server, we want to make Crusader its own server, Hurston its own server, and ArcCorp its own server, and all the stuff around it. So when you fly from Microtech to ArcCorp, you will pass from one server to another server, but you won't even notice it. There won't be loading, there won't be any of that. I imagine at first these servers are going to be pretty static, like I mentioned, in Microtech, ArcCorp, Hurston, just to keep things simple enough as they progress into the next stage of server meshing, which the next stage would be dynamic. So instead of just Microtech, instead of having these static ones, it would be, okay, we have 100 players right now at New Babbage on Microtech. So let's make that a server. We only have 10 people on ArcCorp. So we'll make ArcCorp all the way to Hurston a server. Because between ArcCorp and Hurston, there's 50 people. And then Crusader may have another 50 people that are mining on Yella or running around doing bounties or, whatever. So that will become a server as well. So the servers would actually change on the fly depending on the need. So as people left New Babbage and started moving towards, let's say, ArcCorp, let's say 50 people left New Babbage and went to ArcCorp, and now that area has, 100 people, they would say, okay, we need to make the server just ArcCorp, and Hurston will now kick over to join with Port Olisar, Crusader, or maybe it'd be its own. So that's basically the idea behind server meshing, is that you'd have these dynamic servers eventually that would spool up to support the amount of people on the servers. Technically, if you had like 100 people or 1,000 people at, ArcCorp, then you would have, like 10, 50, whatever different amount of servers to support that. And you could possibly have a situation where two people are standing at the same place at the same exact time on two different servers, which is no different than what we have right now. But the way they want server meshing to work is pretty much everybody's in the same universe. So it won't be great if that happens like that in the future. What they would really need to do is say, okay, you guys are in a pocket server of, these 100 people, and then another 100 people 10 feet away are in another pocket server. That's kind of the way that it should work, but I think that's going to require a lot of extra stuff on their side, and I'm sure that's something they're going to continue working on throughout development, just like they are server-side object container streaming. So let's not get too wrapped up on that. I spent a lot of time on server meshing and beat around the bush, so to speak. I probably didn't explain it clearly. I apologize. We will hit that again when they go into more detail on it as well. So the death animation improvements has also slipped to 4.1 from 4.0. They decided they wanted to bring body dragging in and bump it up. So they're going to focus more on body dragging before they work on the death animation. That kind of makes sense to me. I mean, the death animation's not hugely important right now. Body dragging could be huge if you're able to drag a buddy out of the way of fire and eventually be able to heal them up. Hopefully that comes sooner rather than later as well. PvP bounties. So they have been working on this card, but it's mostly preliminary improvements. So it's just, they decided to remove it from the roadmap altogether because it's not a priority at the moment. They have some bounty hunter stuff that they will work on, but it's not going to be so huge it needs a card. They're just going to do some minor front-facing stuff to bounty hunting or PvP bounty hunting. So a lot of people are going to be really disappointed about that because that's really popular right now. Anybody gets a crime stat, you go after them. Crusader and Orison landing zones has been bumped back to the end of the year. It's not even going to be on the roadmap. They're going to put it in 4.2, which is not yet on the roadmap, and that's supposed to come out by the end of the year. So that is a major disappointment, as we were expecting it much sooner than that. Unfortunately, that also means their mission givers move with them. So that, like I said, disappointing. I was looking forward to Crusader. That was going to be one of my favorite places to go, I think. So I'll just have to wait longer. The New Babbage also is going to add some shop additions in 4.1. They've added the elevator panel. I'm sorry, in 4.0, they added elevator panels to 4.0. So they're going to update all the elevator panels so they're not inner thought, but they are actually interactable screens. I think that's a great change. I like it on the Carrack, much better than having to deal with the inner thought system. They're going to improve the height map. So that makes it where they can get much more higher resolution on when they're creating planets and moons right off the bat. So that helps them in their development process for sure. Then they added the Cutlass Blue back on 4.0 to go right next to the M50. A lot of people were wondering what in the world happened to the Cutlass Blue. Thankfully, it is back. So that is something else we have to look forward to. Thankfully, as I know, a lot of people want to get their hands on that Cutlass Blue. I am definitely one of them. I'm interested to see what it brings to the table. How much better it's going to be than the Cutlass Black or the Cutlass Red. I know the Red's more specialized. The Blue is supposed to be specialized for, capturing people, but it's all supposed to have a pretty good loadout. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. So 4.1, they have Refinery Deck and the Cargo Deck listed there. The Cargo Deck has actually seen some work. Improved throw mechanics in 4.1 for like grenades and whatnot. Let me see what else has changed. Oh yeah, the Star Runner. That's a big one. Bumped back to 4.1. So you won't see the Mercury Star Runner in 4.0. It'll definitely be 4.1. It might actually be pushed back to 4.2 before it's all said and done. I really hope not. Again, that's something we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of stuff left before now and then. So we will just have to wait. The Cutlass Blue shows 2 out of 10 tasks. We know that they were working on figuring out what paint scheme to go with it. The shield rework is also in 4.0, so that's something really great to look forward to. What else do we have in 4.0? The restricted area rework, that should be done. Surrendering. The ship HUD rework will be in 4.0. The new targeting methodology. A lot of good stuff in 4.0 to look forward to as far as the UI. So that I'm also looking forward to seeing what the shop editions are for New Babbage. I think they're supposed to be mostly eatery type places, but we'll have to see. And then they'll also have cover usage in 4.0, which is going to be something for the AI to use. So that's something we will dread, because 890 jump missions will be much harder then, and we'll have to fight through that. Okay, so let me look at the Squadron 42 roadmap and see what all they have changed here. It looks like, well, they've made a lot of progress on a great many things on the Squadron 42 front. That cover usage is 19 out of 24 on Squadron 42. Yeah, I mean, they've got body dragging's 22 out of 29, so it's really almost done. The death animation improvements, 10 out of 15, that's almost done. So they have made some progress, just not as much as we would like. As you can see, all the cockroaches coming out of the woodwork here in the back of this Valkyrie. So I want to talk a little bit about this video that you guys are seeing. So myself, Kodiak, K9, Wrathschild, Captain Jakes, and Skull J all contributed to the footage here that you're seeing. And I really appreciate those guys doing that for our Saturday Night Org Ops. This is a lot of fun that we've been doing, and last week we had 26 people on the server. It was a lot of fun. We had more than half of the server worth of people. There was a lot of desync issues, so we discovered that when you take an hour and a half to set up an op, desync can be a serious issue. So last night's op, we set up to go a lot quicker and smoother, and we also had a couple of special guests. One was the Horton Hustle, Go check her out on Twitch. She's got quite the following there, and you guys go check her out. She's pretty cool. I like watching some of her videos, or some of her Twitch live streams. Very entertaining, and they have a lot of fun, kind of like what we do here as well. So make sure you check that out. Also, you guys are interested in joining our org. The org is named Texas. I'll have that information in the description below the video, as well at the end of this video. Anybody can join. You don't have to be a natural Texan to join. We've got people from South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Denmark, different places in Europe, all over the United States. So you don't have to be a Texan. We'll make you a Texan. That's the way we look at it. It's more of a state of mind than anything else. And a bunch of great people in the org, a lot of fun. There's always somebody playing or active. So if you guys want to join an org that is pretty active, look us up. Also, if you've never seen the game before and maybe this video is your first introduction to it and you're interested in joining the game, or maybe you've watched some of these videos and you've decided you really want to pull the trigger because you kind of want to be part of a community like this, the Star Citizen community as a whole is great. But I have a referral code that I'll flash up at the end of the video, but it'll also be listed in the description. That's where I would advise going to use it, because it'll be much easier. But if you use the referral code, you get 5,000 bonus credits or money to start your Star Citizen career. So that definitely helps you out at the beginning. Helps me out as well because I get referral points, and once you get certain points, you get certain perks, I guess you could say. You know, like I might get bonus money, or they may give me a ship. You know, I'm really shooting for 1,042 referrals because once I hit that, I'll have the Million Mile High Club. That is something I've wanted since I've heard about it. I hope I can get there. I'm only at 30 referrals right now, but you guys are really helping that out, so thank you, and hopefully more of you will decide you want to use my referral code. That would be much appreciated. Any other news? I don't really have much to say, except for I'm trying to grind these videos out for you guys. I have taken a job that doesn't pay much, but works me a lot. So it's a little harder to get some of these videos out on time. If you noticed, I missed a day yesterday, or I guess it was Friday. So I am really sorry about that. I'm disappointed myself. I just didn't have time to edit it all together and put the video out. Hopefully you guys liked yesterday's video, and hopefully you'll like this video as well. I kind of decided, instead of just showing you gameplay, that I would do a little bit of narration over the top and talk about this week's news going into this video. I could have done the gameplay, but honestly, it's mostly, you know, comm chatter from 20 plus people, and you guys probably would have been lost a little bit in that, as some of the people that were playing were a little lost in all the comm chatter. We're trying to hone that down. We want to get things down into squads and teams and hone in on the comms a little bit more. So we are trying to get all that sorted. The game doesn't really allow a lot of that, so we're going to have to use Discord and in-game comms, which can be unreliable at best sometimes. And then we also have to deal with the desync issues. We did play some Star Marine that night, and I still have some of those videos I want to edit together for you guys. So you will get some gameplay videos here shortly, coming in the future. I also have some Texas lore videos that I plan on doing for you guys in the very near future as well. Hopefully you guys will like that series, because it will have to be a series of videos. There's a lot to cover. Texas has a very rich history, and to me it's a fun history, but I'm a history buff. I know not many people out there are history buffs like I am, but hopefully you guys will get something out of that. If you like this video, guys, please hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber and you're interested in subscribing, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to grow this channel. We're almost to 2,000 subscribers. When we hit that, I'm going to do 2 giveaways. So 2 starter packs I will be giving away that I bought with my own money. So that's something to look forward to as well. And yeah, I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy. I'll see you out in the verse.